this is a nice crowd. You got a lot of people. You've got a lot of people standing outside tonight. It's freezing. They got here yesterday like at 2 o'clock in the morning or something. Well, I'm worried about them. Would anybody like to give up your place? Let some people come in from the cold. You go out to the cold. I don't think so. I just want to say hello, Pennsylvania, and I'm thrilled to be back in this incredible Commonwealth with so many proud, hardworking American patriots. That's what you are. So am I. I'm a proud hard worker. I'm a proud patriot, but you're a proud patriot. Thank you very much, everybody. It's a great reception. You know, we're on to expose what happened recently when we took over. You know, it's 10 months, and already we have the largest investment ever made in the history of, not our country, of any country anywhere in the world. Think of that. But let me begin by wishing each and every one of you a very Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, all of that stuff. Remember when I started? In 2015, I made my first speech, and I said, we're going to bring back Christmas. Remember, the radical left wanted to get rid of the word Christmas. I said, I don't think that's going to work out. And we did it, and now everybody's saying Merry Christmas again. But just over 1 year ago today, with your help, we saved America. That's what happened. We saved it. In the most important election victory possibly in the history of our country was going down. We were a country that was being scoffed at, laughed at all over the world. We won all 7. Thank you, darling. She said, and you saved us. Who are you? Stand up, please. Who said that? I love her. Only in Pennsylvania can this happen. I know this state. By the way, last election, did we kick ass in Pennsylvania? We won. That means we won 3 times in a row, as you know. But we won all 7 swing states. We won the Electoral College, 312 to 226. We won, and by the way, the real vote was much more than this, but we wanted to make it too big to rig. We won the popular vote for the first time of any Republican in many decades, and we won 86% of all counties in America, 2,700 to 525. That's good. We did it. Not me, we did it. And now, after just 10 months in office, I'm pleased to report that America is winning again, Pennsylvania is prospering again, and I will not rest until this Commonwealth is wealthier and stronger than ever before. Remember when Biden got up and called you a state? That was not good. He said, it's great to be back in this state. Where are we? Where are we? What state is it? It's Pennsylvania. Oh, okay. No, we're respected again as a country. We're respected. Since my inauguration, we've created nearly 60,000 new Pennsylvania jobs, including 4,000 Pennsylvania manufacturing jobs that the Democrats gave up on. You're doing better than you've ever done. Under our leadership, more than 40,000 Pennsylvanians have been lifted off of food stamps, 40,000. And working with a great guy, remember David McCormick? He used to go to every rally I had, he knew what was happening. And he's here again, as usual. I can't get rid of this guy. Where is he? He got a little lucky, though. You know, in Butler, a place called Butler, Pennsylvania. I love Butler, Pennsylvania, but it was amazing. And we had a tremendous crowd, like 55, 60,000 people. Then I called David. I said, David, come on up. He was working like hell to get elected. It was a tough race. And very few people could have done what he did. But I said, right at the beginning of the speech, I said, David, come on up. Come on up. I want to, this was before the thing happened. And then I looked up and I said, you know what, David, just stay there. I'll get you later. You're so lucky, David. You're so lucky, you don't know. I could have had a little differently shaped ear if it weren't for you. You know, you got very lucky that day. People don't talk about that, but I remember I called him up and I said, just stay there. Because he was walking a little bit slowly. I didn't want to take the time. Oh, boy, that was a good day for you. What a job he did. He's really a great guy, and his wife, Dina, is fantastic. Thank you. Stand up, David. He's a lucky man. Working with Senator David McCormick, we've secured commitments for nearly $100 billion of investments in Pennsylvania. We were up here a few months ago. Some of the greatest energy companies in the world made that. We were doing it on a beautiful day, a little warmer than it is outside today, David. But over $100 billion, and we've saved a great American company. You know, we saved, this little group of people and me, saved a little company called U.S. Steel, and it's hot as a pistol now. And we have the keys to the company. It's always going to be here. It's never moving. They said, what happens if it moves to Japan? I said, you can't move a steel mill to Japan. You can move a headquarters, but the steel mill stays here. That's all that matters. And I will tell you, the company is spending billions and billions of dollars, and there was no second by comparison. Other companies were interested, and they really are. They call me all the time, tell me they're really excited about it. And, you know, they're building a lot of additional plants. It's turning out to be beyond what anyone thought possible, but we had to save U.S. Steel. U.S. Steel was one of the greatest companies, which really, for a long period of time, years ago, the greatest company anywhere in the world. U.S. Steel was, you see it with the big factories that were, I mean, 2 years ago. Now it's starting to fill up. The tariffs have filled it up because people are coming here. Other steel companies are coming to Pennsylvania now because of they don't want to spend 100%, 50%, 25% on tariffs. They're all coming in. It's amazing. You know, the word, remember when I said tariff? My favorite word is tariff. True. But then I got a lot of heat from the fake news. Look at all of them back there. I took a lot of heat. I got up early on. I said my favorite, it's turning out, you know, tariffs are bringing us hundreds of billions of dollars. I just helped our farmers out because they're starting to do really well. But in order to try and negotiate, some countries played a little cute, and we just gave them, right out of a tariff money, cost us nothing, right out of the hundreds of billions that we've taken in, we gave the farmers a little help, $12 billion, and they are so happy. And all they want is a level playing field, and now it's happening. And the tariffs are making them rich. It's going to be, you're going to see what happens over the next 2 years. It's like a miracle is taking place. But we've taken in hundreds of billions of dollars, really trillions. Scott, we have the great Scott Bessent. Scott, stand up. And if you add to that all of the companies that are pouring their money to building plants in Pennsylvania and many other states, auto plants, AI plants, plants of every type, which we would have never had if we didn't put the tariffs on. Did you see where Europe now is saying, I think we got to start doing what Trump is doing. We've got to start putting on tariffs because we're getting our asses kicked, and it's true. But Scott, if you really think about it, it's trillions of dollars, not billions of dollars, right? So it's amazing. It's the smart people understand it. Other people are starting to learn, but the smart people really understand it. 1 year ago, under Sleepy Joe Biden, have you heard of him? You know, okay, look, the king of Saudi Arabia told me this. He said, sir, 1 year ago, I was in Saudi Arabia. Somebody complained that I was making a foreign trip. I went to Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and UAE. I brought back $4 trillion. They said, he shouldn't be traveling. He should focus on home. What the hell do you think I'm doing? And 250 Boeing jets. I brought it back so much, everything. Then they say, he should, you know, the stupid people, they say, he should be leaving our country. Yeah, let's sit around and twiddle our thumbs. It's, no, it's sort of crazy, right? But 1 year ago, the king of Saudi Arabia said it. He said, sir, 1 year ago, you were a dead country, dead. They were focusing on China. They were looking for, you know, who's next on line, frankly. And he's a good man. And the Emir of Qatar said it. UAE said it. The big company, the big, smart country said it. We were a dead country 1 year ago. We were dead as a doornail. We were going down the tubes. And now we're the hottest country anywhere in the world. There's nobody close. Sure. And it's because of the election on November 5th, because that's when it started. You saw what's happening with recruitment in the military. The enrollment is the highest we've ever had. And you know, right before November 5th, we couldn't get anybody in the military. We couldn't get police. We couldn't get firemen. We couldn't get anybody. And after November 5th, that's when it started. Right now, we have the highest enrollment we've ever had, the greatest recruitment days we've ever had in the military. It's amazing. So it's November 5th, and it's also, again, it's a thing called tariffs. And I told you, I was about to say that, you know, because I love the weave, the weave. You know what the weave is? You go here, bing, 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 bing. You always have to get back to the right location. But otherwise, they'll criticize you for straying from the speech. By the way, if I read what's on the teleprompter, you'd all be falling asleep right now. But it's true, 1 year ago, and during periods of time, I'd say my favorite word is the word tariff. I love it more than any other word in the dictionary. And the fake news said, that's terrible. What about God? What about family? What about religion? What about your sons, your daughters? What about how terrible that's this? So I moved it back to fifth. I have it to fifth, and now I'm in no trouble with the fake news, you know? They said, what about religion? They always find, so you have to weave a little bit with the punches. You have to go, you know, the boxers, you got to go with the punches. But it's been amazing what's happened, and it's been amazing. It's a transformation of our country. I have the greatest oil man anywhere in the world. I see him sitting right there, Chris Wright. I was going to put him in, Doug Burgum. He's great. He's interior. And I said, Doug, I want you to go to energy. You're really fantastic at energy. Came from North Dakota. Big fracking place, state. He'd done really a great job. He was a great governor, I would say, right? Really great. And a great person. He's doing a fantastic job. I said, I want you to head up energy. Sir, I'd be good, but I'll tell you, there's one man out there. In the whole world, there's one man out there who would be better than me. Who is it? A man named Chris Wright. Who the hell is Chris Wright? Give me a break. I never heard of the guy. Well, you never heard. He's the biggest there is. He's the smartest there is. The greatest oil man in the world. Chris Wright. I said, I got to see this guy. And after about 2 minutes, I understood exactly what Doug was saying. So I said, okay, Doug, you'll go to Interior. You work with, because interestingly, Interior owns all the land that has the oil. And he has all the expertise that drills the oil. And I said, you know, we'll do a friendly merger here. This is pretty good. And that's what we did. And we're right now drilling more oil than we've ever done ever before. Prices are way down. We just had 4 states. It was just reported that 4 states had $1.99 a gallon. Right? We're still moving. So I want to introduce Chris Wright. Stand up, Chris. Who would think, you look at him, he's a nice-looking guy and all that. Who would think he's rated, I mean, he's the most talented oil guy. He can put his nose in the ground and tell you whether or not there's oil. Other people have to spend billions of dollars on machinery and equipment, and it doesn't work. So I want to thank you. You're doing a great job. And is it true? We are right now, energy overall, not only the oil and gas, we are right now involved in more energy and have more energy in the works by far than we've ever had before. Is that right? Yeah, not even close. Yeah. And I have no higher priority than making America affordable again. That's what we're going to do. And again, they caused the high prices, and we're bringing them down. It's a simple message. If I had one message tonight, you know, this is being covered like all over the world. This is crazy, because I haven't made a speech in a little while. You know, when you win, you say, oh, I can now rest. So Susie Trump, do you know Susie Trump? Sometimes referred to as Susie Wiles, Susie Trump. She's the great chief of staff at the, they don't use the word chief of staff anymore because of the Indians got extremely upset. But now the Indians actually want their name used, which is true. They never didn't want it used. But the chief of staff, and she's fantastic, she said, we have to start campaigning, sir. I said, I won. What do I have to do already? They said, we have to win the midterms, and you're the guy that's going to take us over the midterm. Where's Susie? Susie, come on, Susie. Look at Susie. Susie's the greatest. And who do we see there? We even brought our superstar today, Caroline. Stand up, Caroline. Isn't she great? Is Caroline great? You know, when she goes on television, Fox, like, I mean, they dominate. They dominate when she gets up there with that beautiful face and those lips that don't stop, up, like a little machine gun. She's got no fear. You know why she has no fear? Because we have the right policy. We don't have men in women's sports. We don't have to sell men in women's sports. We don't have to sell transgender to everybody. We don't have to sell open borders where the whole world is allowed to come into our country from prisons and everywhere. So she's got a little bit easier job. I wouldn't want to be the other side's press secretary, right? Thanks, Carolyn. Great job. We appreciate it. But that's our message. They gave you high prices. They gave you the highest inflation in history, and we're bringing those prices down rapidly. Lower prices, bigger paychecks. You're getting lower prices, bigger paychecks. We're getting inflation. We're crushing it. And you're getting much higher wages. I mean, the only thing that's really going up big, it's called the stock market and your 401ks. That's going up. But I say it, you know, and I said it the other day, and a lot of people misinterpret it. They say, oh, he doesn't realize prices are high. Prices are coming down very substantially. But they have a new word. You know, they always have a hoax. The new word is affordability. So they look at the camera and they say, this election is all about affordability. Now, they never talk about it. They never talk. Thank you very much. They say I'm not allowed to run. I don't know what the hell that's all about, but that's okay. He said 4 more years. You see the new hat? We have 4 more years. 2028. We have all sorts of hats. Well, you know what? We have 3 years and 2 months to go. And you know what that is in Trump time? 3 years and 2 months is called eternity. We have a long time. We have a long time. But under Biden, real wages plummeted by $3,000 a year. Under Trump, the typical factory worker has already seen their wages increase by more than $1,300, and that's in just a few months. And for construction workers, it's $1,800 up versus $3,500 down, and I think their number is wrong. It's much lower than that. For miners, do we love miners? I love miners. I don't know how they do it, going 10,000 feet under the ground, and they wouldn't trade jobs with me. if I gave them a beautiful, magnificent penthouse in the middle of Manhattan, where I used to live, if I gave them the most beautiful penthouse, they wouldn't take it. They'd rather go 10,000 feet underground and dig. That's what they want. For miners, their wages went up $3,300, and we're bringing back coal. But my administration cannot talk about anything else except when they say the word coal, they have to precede the word by 2 words: clean, beautiful. So we only call coal clean, beautiful coal. Is that right, fellas? Because coal needs a little public relations help. It's a very powerful fuel. It's used by China. You know, China makes all our windmills, but they don't have any wind farms. It's a little interesting, isn't it? Wind is the worst. That's a scam. They ruin your valleys, they ruin your peaks, the most expensive energy. The only ones that get rich are the developers who make a fortune. You have to change the windmills, and most of them are made in China, but China has very few wind farms. You know why? Because they're smart. You know what they do have? A lot of coal. They love coal, so that's okay. But we have clean, beautiful coal, and we brought it back into vogue. We have nuclear, we have oil and gas, we have sort of everything. We don't approve windmills. We don't approve it, I'm sorry. We don't like things that kill all our birds. And that every time you put one up, only the guy that owns it makes a lot of money. Those guys, what a joke. And they are ugly, you're right, sir. But Democrats talking about affordability is like Bonnie and Clyde preaching about public safety. And they are really truly the enemy of the working class when they do it, because we're gonna have a great energy policy. You know, our oil prices are coming down very substantially, energy prices. And honestly, with that, everything comes down, because there's nothing nearly in the category of oil. You wouldn't even know what second is. There are seconds and thirds, but it's so far down the list we don't even talk about them. You get energy prices down, which we're doing. Again, the greatest amount of drilling, the greatest amount of fuel being produced right now in our country than ever before, by far. It's not even a contest. And when that happens, those prices come down. That's why you're seeing oil per barrel coming down nicely, very nicely. We don't want to go so rapidly, because we want the people that produce it to keep producing it, but they're doing good. But it's amazing. But when energy comes down, your other prices come down too, all of your prices, and that's exactly. We inherited the highest prices ever, and we're bringing them down. We inherited the worst inflation in the history of our country. Think of that. And we're bringing them down rapidly. Their entire agenda is about robbing working people to fund their far-left cronies and give lavish benefits to foreign migrants and illegal aliens. You can't do it. Look, we all have a heart. We don't like what's happening. But, you know, when they allow them to come in, we have a border that, by the way, they don't talk about the border. Why don't you talk about the border anymore? The border is, for months, it's closed. Actually, their people, because they're radical left, their people, radical left, they rate the border and everything. You know how many people came into the border over the last 7 months? You know what it is? 0. 0. Except for the ones that came in legally, right? Legally. When Biden and congressional Democrats had power, they blew up our economy, sent prices soaring. Look, the poor guy, he didn't know what the hell was happening, okay? I'm sorry. It wasn't him. It was the lunatics that circled, yeah, it was the auto pen, you're right. I can't believe I didn't say that. I hate when you beat me to the punchline. I would not have said. Well, I'll tell you, I'll give the fake news a little breaking news. So I believe, and I may be correct, but we're checking this. We have a bad head of the Fed. We're going to be making a change. Fortunately, this guy's out. But we have 4 members appointed by Sleepy Joe Biden. Which is better, Sleepy Joe or Crooked Joe? Historically, when I've done polls, from people. I do my own polls. I go to a big arena. We have 20,000 people. I say, which you like, Sleepy Joe or Crooked Joe? And I learned, I save millions of dollars. I don't have to do any polling, okay? Typically, Crooked Joe wins. I'm surprised. Because to me, he's a sleepy son of a bitch, who destroyed our country. If we didn't come along, and it's not me, it's all of us. If we didn't come along, this country was destroyed, I'll tell you. It would have been destroyed. But now Democrats in Congress want to take us straight back to the Bidenomics. They don't change. And I don't really talk about it because, for instance, I watched a congressman the other day on a television show. They were interviewing a Democrat. He was fighting like hell for men to play in women's sports, okay? And I was going to put something out. I was going to he's a well-known congressman. And I said, let's save it about 2 weeks before the election, right, David? We don't want to do it now. What the hell good does it do now? Let's save it for about 2 weeks because we don't want them to change. Just let them keep going. I think transgender for all is a great, great thing for the Democrats to be talking about. Transgender for every member in your family. If they're not feeling well that night, let's just change their sex. Now, let's not talk about it. Let them go and let them fight to get these things. I think open borders are great, where prisons are emptied into our country, right? Where we have people from all over the world being dumped into our country, the people that aren't wanted in their countries, by the way. I think that's a great, like Somalia. Welcome. Do we have any individuals from Somalia in the group? Please raise your hand. That's for Minnesota, That's called the Great Big Minnesota Scam with one of the dumbest governors ever in history. I love this Ilan Omar, whatever the hell her name is, with the little turban. I love her. She comes in, does nothing but bitch. She's always complaining. She comes from a country where, it's considered about the worst country in the world, right? They have no military, they have no nothing, they have no parliament. They don't know what the hell the word parliament means. They have nothing, they have no police. They police themselves. They kill each other all the time. I love it. She comes to our country, and she's always complaining about, the Constitution allows me to do this. We ought to get her the hell out. She married her brother in order to get in, right? She married her brother. Can you imagine if Donald Trump married his sister? Beautiful. She's a beautiful person. If I married my sister to get my citizenship, do you think I'd last for about 2 hours, or would it be something less than that? She married her brother to get in. Therefore, she's here illegally. She should get the hell out. Throw her the hell out. She does nothing but complain. So now, and we have our Savior in this room. His name is Secretary of the Treasury, Scott Bessent. He's right there. Because that very handsome man, by the way, if you're picking the Secretary of the Treasury, is he like the perfect guy for a movie? He's made for the movie. Stand up, Scott. Look at him. No, he's central casting. He's central casting. But under that beautiful exterior is a killer. And here's what happened. He is in charge of the investigation of Somalia and the billions of dollars they have robbed from Minnesota, right? I hope you do your job. I hope you're not one of these Republicans where something comes up and they don't do what they should do because they're nicer people. They're much nicer people than the Democrats, but Scott's actually not a nice person at all. So, Scott, you're in charge of that investigation? Okay, I'm not interfering at all. I'm just saying, please do a good job, honest and fair, right? Honest and fair. Oh, if he's honest and fair, you know what he's going to find? It's great. I'd love to have that job. They may switch jobs with you. I'd love to have that job. They ought to get him the hell out of here. They hate our country. And she hates our country. And her friends hate our country. And AOC hates our country. They all do. And we have a new candidate in the great state of Texas, where I won Texas by more votes than anybody. And you have to understand, I'm being judged by these bad people back there, the fake news. So anything I say that's slightly off, I get like headlines. Donald Trump exaggerated, or Donald Trump lied. They give me Pinocchios, Washington Post, a Pinocchio. They lie every day. They give me a Pinocchio. But think of this. If I make even the slightest mistake, what they do is they go after me. Everything I say is correct. We have now a new candidate. I won Texas by the largest vote in the history of Texas 3 times, okay? I love Texas. Just like I love Pennsylvania, the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Just like I love, honestly, every one of our states. I love all of our states. We've done so well. I love all of our states. What? By the way, is this a different country now than we had a year and a half ago? Right? What a difference. Crime is way down, despite the fact that we have many, bad people entered our country. Many of them are being taken out. Ultimately, they're all being taken out. Washington, D.C., we had a tragic incident, as you know, with the 2 incredible people. What a terrible thing that was just 2 weeks ago, right? Just a terrible National Guard, terrible thing. Sarah and Andrew. Sarah passed away. She's looking at us from heaven, from above, and she was killed almost instantly. They kept her alive. Her parents came from West Virginia, another great state. Her parents are incredible. They couldn't believe it. She was 20 years old, perfect. She was just getting a little promotion. They were so proud of her. She was on her way up, and she was shot in the head, the brain, shot in the head. They were able to keep her alive long enough for her parents to come in from West Virginia and say goodbye to her. And Andrew is the second one, who's also from West Virginia National Guard, incredible people. And so they were both from West Virginia. And his mother's named Monica. And Monica's the most positive person I've ever seen. The night that he was so badly hit and the doctors gave him almost no chance, I called their hospital room and spoke to her. And she said, sir, he'll be fine. Oh, no, I'm telling you, I'm praying. The whole country is praying. Sir, I'm telling you, don't worry about it. He's going to be fine. This is the mother talking to me. And the father's like devastated. He's an incredible guy too, both. And I went and invited them to the Oval Office, and they came in. She said, sir, he's fine. It was amazing, actually. And today, Monica, she said, we're all praying, and I'm praying. And then she called to say, sir, he moved his finger today. This is like 3 days later. He moved his finger. And today I got a call that he got up from bed. Do you believe that? He got up. He got up. Now, he didn't speak. He's not ready for that yet. He got hit in the head. But he got up, and boy, they're so happy. It's amazing. And the care that they've given him at the hospital, and the generals that have been there, the military that's been there, it's amazing. General Seward and others that, she said the level of love that your military has given to my boy, and by the way, Sarah's parents said the same thing. The love and the affection and the care that they're given, they can't even believe what's happened. But Andrew stood up today, and people even can't believe it. So the mother was amazing, and let's hope it continues. Look, it doesn't get much worse than what he did. Let's hope it continues. But that's an act of terrorism. This is a guy came from Washington, state of Washington, came across the country. and he wanted to kill people with the uniform. A whack job. Isn't it crazy? Think of it. He was also very badly injured. And they're fighting to save his life so that we can give him the death penalty. How crazy is that, right? They're fighting to save his life so that we can give him the death penalty. That's the way it really should work, right? The doctors have to do their job, and then the lawyers have to do their job. But it's an amazing country. Actually, Andrew's father said that. He said, they're fighting for him. I hope they save him, sir, because I hope he has to understand what he did, how bad it is. And he's going to, I think he will be saved, actually. It looks like they will save him. He wasn't as badly hurt as Sarah or Andrew, but isn't it an amazing thing? They're working so hard to save his life, and we're going to put him up for the death penalty. Amazing, huh? Only in America. That's only in America. You know, in one way, there's something beautiful about it. In another way, it's a little crazy, right? In my first term, we built the greatest economy in the history of the world. You know that. We had the greatest economy in history, even with the COVID. COVID came, and it really hurt the world. It was a gift from China, but China got hurt very badly, too. We're getting along with China. They're buying a lot of our soybeans. Keep buying those soybeans there. You know, you heard all about magnets and rare earth. They were great. I met with President Xi. Scott was with me, and we had a whole group. Marco was there, and Chris was there. We were all there, and we made incredible deals with China. We're getting along. Getting along is a good thing. You know, getting along is a good thing, not a bad thing. It's a smart thing, and they're buying literally trillions of dollars worth of our products and all of that. And we had a very good meeting. Remember, the whole world was going to shut down over rare earth. That was 2 months ago, and that worked out very well. It all works out well. If you have a smart president, it works out well. If you have a dummy, it doesn't work out. But we had a great economy. We had the greatest economy in our country's history, but we had what's called the greatest economy. This is the first term, probably ever, of any country. Now, in addition to that, we rebuilt our military. We got the biggest tax cuts ever. We got the biggest regulation cuts ever. We had the best job numbers. We had a great first term. Or frankly, to be honest with you, I wouldn't be standing here. Because if I had a bad first term, you know, you might say, I like him. He's really good. But we had a lousy first term. You're not going to vote. You voted for me because we had a great, despite all of the Russia bullshit, despite all of the impeachments, you know, think of it. The impeachments, all of the crap we had to go through with these crooked Democrats. They're crooked as you could be. They're bad people. They're sick people. But despite all of that, we had an amazing first term. Our second term is blowing it away. It's blowing it away. So we're doing it again, but bigger, better, and stronger than ever before. There's more work to do, but today, 22 states, we're setting 22 total. Is that right, Chris? That just came out, that statistic. We're down lower than we've been in 7 years in gasoline prices and oil prices, not just the 3 states that I talk about with $1.99 a gallon. How would you like to have $1.99? You know, that's the equivalent of a very major tax cut. You know, when you get the energy prices down, it's really the equivalent, maybe even in many cases better than a big tax cut, which we gave you. We gave you the biggest tax cut ever in the first term. We then gave you, with the great, big, beautiful deal, which is phenomenal, we gave you something that's even better than we did. We gave you an extension of the biggest tax cuts and the biggest tax cuts ever, even bigger than the first term. And that's one of the reasons that your 401ks are through the roof. It's one of the reasons that the stock market is at the highest point. So rent prices are down, dairy prices are coming down very strongly. The cost of Thanksgiving turkeys was down by 33% compared to the Biden era. Biden era, you know what you did during the Biden era for Thanksgiving? You said, oh my God, this is terrible. It was a rotten Thanksgiving. And Walmart, I thank them. You know, they came out with a big, like sort of a numbers thing, a chart. and they had it 25% less. So that's pretty good. A Thanksgiving meal with all of the trimmings is 25% less under Trump than it was a year ago under Biden. That's a good start. We're bringing it down, and we're coming down more. We're coming down a lot more. Takes a little time to come down. They were ruining. They're going to destroy our country. The cost of a Christmas ham, what? Don't forget who? Eggs. I'm getting to eggs. But you're right. Remember with eggs where I had my first news conference. 2 days went by and I had a news conference, right? Unlike Biden, 2 years go by, he still didn't have it. Remember? He'd walk off the stage. He's finished with his, sir, you're finished with your speech. Now what? You finished what? And then he'd walk into a wall. What he did, and it wasn't him, it was some really smart, radical left lunatics. What they did to our country, we can never forget. We can never forget. But you remember the first eggs? We remember the first 3 days. I just got there. Sure, what's these people? 2 of them are there, right there. Look at all those cameras you got. You got a lot of television going. 2 of them were there. And I'm talking about, yes, I look forward to getting involved and doing great things. What about eggs? Eggs are down. As they go, eggs. They said, the price of eggs is quadrupled. I said, oh, I didn't know that. Tell me about it. It's gone up like 4 or 5 times. Remember eggs right at the beginning. He's right when he says eggs. It went up like 4 times. It was like crazy. And they said, sir, don't buy. They came into the Oval Office. Sir, you know, we have an Easter egg hunt. It's like a thing for 150 years at the White House. Beautiful. They said, sir, we're going to buy plastic eggs this year. Plastic eggs. We don't have, you know, enough eggs to go around for that. I said, you're going to buy regular eggs. And by the time Easter comes, we're going to have so many eggs, you're not going to know what to do. You're not buying plastic. And we didn't. And Brooke Rollins, our Secretary of Agriculture, did an incredible job. And eggs dropped like a rock. And we ended up buying a lot of eggs for a lot of. But the price of eggs is down now 80% since March. Think of that. And we have 2 price charts. Do you remember the last time I pointed to a chart? My all-time, I don't care what these charts say. My all-time favorite chart was the chart I had in Butler. I said, let's look at the chart. Bing, bing. I don't care how good that chart looks. It's shit by comparison to the one in Butler. It's nothing. I like the Butler chart. Remember, that was on how great employment was and all this, but I like it for other reasons. Look at that chart. It's good, but now I talk about the Butler chart, I don't even want to look at it. Doesn't mean anything. But look, Biden price increases and Trump price increases. Look at Biden. Up 37, 24%, 22, 21, 30.7, 30.7 again. 10.4%, 49%. Trump, the price is down 5.1, 4.2, 0.5, down 4%, 2 points, 2.9. Look at that, our prices are coming down. Their prices, it's a hoax. They're just, remember they said the Inflation Reduction Act, remember that? Billions and billions, hundreds of billions of dollars. The inflation. And after they got it approved, because we had a few Republicans that went along with that whole hoax. And remember, we're going to pass the inflation. And I said, there's nothing to do with inflation reduction there. There's nothing to do with that. It has nothing, it had nothing to do with inflation either way, other than raising inflation, perhaps, because it was such a stupid. And then they admitted, they fought it like, oh no, this is inflation. After they got the thing passed, then they said, we agree, it has nothing to do with inflation. Screw you, we don't care. That's what it is. We're dealing with bad people. And the word affordability is the exact same thing. And I can't say affordability hoax because I agree the prices were too high, so I can't go to hoax because they'll misconstrue that. But they use the word affordability, and that's their only word. They say affordability. And everyone says, oh, That must mean Trump has high prices. No, our prices are coming down tremendously from the highest prices in the history of our country. And look at that chart. Let's see the next one. You have another one, I think, mortgage rates. Even with a lousy Fed chair. We have a lousy Fed chair. Oh, and by the way, it looks, you're going to have to check this, please. I just heard it could be that all 4 commissioners in the Fed signed by Biden, including Too Late. You know who Too Late is? Too Late, pal? Jerome Too Late. He's too late with his interest rates for a reason. He's a bad guy. He's not a smart guy, but he's a bad guy. Too Late. Is he going to lower rates a little bit finally? Did you see where Jamie Dimon, respected guy, said, you got to get the rates down, you schmuck, you know? But I hear that the auto pen may have signed those commissions. If they signed those commissions, now maybe I'm wrong, but we're going to check. Have you checked that? Are you hearing it? Who signed it? Did he sign it or did the auto pen sign it? I'm hearing the auto pen. You know, you can't use the auto pen unless it's very strongly authorized, unless you show you know what the hell you're doing, which is impossible of him to show. So, I don't know. I think it's something we have to look into. You put people there that are not authorized to be there. I know I signed Chris Wright. I signed everything, but I signed Chris Wright. If I gave you an auto pen, they could throw you the hell out of here, Chris. The difference is they would do it, you know? We try and be too nice. No, would you check that, Scott, okay? Because I'm hearing that the auto pen could have signed maybe all 4, but maybe a couple of them. We'll take 2. So look at that, Biden. I love that laugh. Who's the woman with that great hearty laugh? That's a woman that likes Trump. That's how beautiful. Anybody can laugh with that happiness. She likes Trump. He likes Trump, too, with the hat. Yes, that's right. Thank you. Thank you, man. Thank you. So Biden, new yearly mortgage cost increases, and Trump, new yearly. Look, we went down with our rates. They went up with their rates much. That's a lot. So with us, you save $2,900, almost $3,000. And with them, you go up. It costs you $15,000. You don't hear that because the fake news doesn't tell you that. And these are charts. These are government charts. These are not made up by Donald J. Trump. These are government charts. Do you have a third chart? Because I like these charts very much. Not as much as Butler, but I like them. You have any other charts? Because so far they're playing quite well. Oh, look at that. Real wages. Look at that. Losses and Trump real wages gains for the typical worker. Wow. I mean, that's incredible, right? So look at the amount of loss, 18.5, 106. What the hell is that all about? Is that even possible? Biden food, oh, I see. No, that's the eggs. You moved that chart very quickly. I said, what's going on with that chart? They did, that was Houdini did that. Because I was saying, boy, I really like the numbers having to do with real wages, but, you know, they've played very well. But this plays very well, too. So you have Biden food price increases, Trump. Look at that. Look at that. So ours are decreases, all decreases, and they're moving down good. But look at AIDS, 106%, and we got them down 15%. Look at those numbers. But you don't hear that from the fake news. You don't hear that. What do you think of that, David? I think we're going to have to do something. You know, we should impeach him, but he's gone. I guess we can't, right? By the way, if it were up to them, numbers like that, they would have impeached. Those numbers are terrible, and those are government numbers. So thank you very much, everybody. It's good. We have a couple of other charts we're going to show you, too, that are just terrible. We're also working to bring down the cost of health care. Obamacare is a scam. Under Obamacare, trillions of dollars were given directly to health insurance companies. Their stocks are up 1,700% in a very short period of time. Would you say that's good? Obamacare's primary purpose was to pay off insurance companies. You know, the insurance companies back the Democrats very heavily. I want to give billions of dollars directly to the people. I want to take all of the billions and billions and actually trillions, but over a period of time. And I want to give all of that money we give to the big, fat, rich insurance companies. I don't want to give them nothing. I want to give nothing to the insurance companies. I don't want to give all, because they're sucking our country dry with this scam by the Democrats. That was Obama, and I've always said it, Obamacare, but now you see the numbers because your premiums are going up on Obamacare and everything. It's forcing everything up. But we want the money go directly to the people. We want you to go out and buy your own health insurance, and you'll get much better health insurance at a much lower cost. Everybody knows this is the best way to go, but the Democrats, they're bought and owned by the insurance companies. So let's see how many of them have the guts to vote for this. You know, we're putting in bills where all of that money, hundreds of billions of dollars, goes to the people to go out and buy your own health care. And everybody's different. Some are young people, some are older people. It's a much different, really, set of criteria. In 4 years under Biden, Democrats secured less than $1 trillion in new investments in our country. Think of that, though. And we've done in 10 months, we've set the all-time country record by many times. I'm going to get the exact numbers many times. 18, what are we over 18, right around 18 trillion? We could hit $20 trillion in the first year with 10 months, 18 trillion versus less than 1 trillion. And I'll tell you what, it was going to go down if it wasn't going to be like even anything. It would have been negative because companies were pouring out of our country. The stock market is set 51. This is in less than 10 months. The stock market is set 51 all-time record highs. There's never been anything like that. Bum, bum, bum. Bum, bum, bum. It's set, think of that. It's set 51 all-time record highs in less than 10 months. That was as of about 3 weeks ago. Before I entered office, 100% of all new net jobs were going to migrant workers. Think of that. 100% of new jobs were going to migrant. These are government numbers, by the way. These are not Trump numbers. These are government numbers. Because they say, well, did Trump come up with these numbers? No, I didn't come up. I'm just... Migrant workers and illegal aliens got 100%. But since I took office, 100% of all net job creation has gone to American citizens. How about that? Now, how about that? Even I will give myself a hand. Now, think of it. 100% went to American citizens before 100% went to people that came into the country illegally. Again, many of them from prisons, many of them gang members, drug members, Tren de Aragua. More Americans are working today than at any time in the history of our country. That's why when they ask about the economy, you know, you have fake polls. How's Trump doing? You hear these numbers. How's Trump doing on the economy? I was interviewed by a very hostile group today. I said, why am I doing these people? They're hostile. But they were relatively fair because they can't beat you. I don't mind. I can be interviewed by anybody. Were you concerned if you're doing badly, you don't want to be interviewed by bad people. But they can't do anything to you because the numbers speak. It was Politico. I did an interview today. It was a good interview because they have no ammunition. The one person said to me, it's unbelievable. Our economy is unbelievable. There's never been anything. But the Democrats go out, prices are too high. Yeah, they're too high because they caused them to be too high. But now they're coming down. One of the most important ways we're defeating inflation is by unleashing American energy, including oil, gas, and clean, beautiful coal right here in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Did you know I went to school in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, right? The great Wharton School of Finance. I love the Wharton School. Became a little liberal, but these are minor details. But the Wharton School, one of the greatest schools in the world. I went here and I loved it. I loved the school, and I love Philadelphia. Philadelphia's gotten a little rougher. But we're going to take it. And you have a great football coach, and you have a great running back, Saquon. You know, I got to know Saquon a little bit, and my hand will never be the same. I patted him on the back. I said, Saquon, let's go. You're my partner today. Let's go win. Because it was like I hit a piece of steel. I said, what the hell is with you, Saquon? That's pretty, he's good. But he's a better football player than he is a golfer, trust me. He's so strong. Those muscles are, but his football is great. His golf will be very good, very good. But we won our match. And you do have a great coach. I was with you, Coach. I got a little streak going here, but that'll change. But he's a great coach. Well, you won the whole deal, right? I got to know him last year when he came to the White House, and I said, this guy's he's a real leader. The players loved him. And you had some players that are just, really just fantastic guys. But you have a good football team. It's really good to watch. But for 4 long years, Biden and the Democrats tried to endlessly kill Pennsylvania energy jobs. They worked so hard to kill the jobs. They wanted wind all over the place, Let's go buy those windmills for millions of dollars each from China. Every time it goes around, you lose $15. Did you know that? That's on average. You're supposed to make money with energy. You're not supposed to lose money with energy. And everybody that's doing wind is in virtual bankruptcy right now. If you look at UK, I told he's a nice man, Starmer, Prime Minister. I said, you have a great energy source in the North Sea. Use it, or you're not going to be in office very long. Their energy prices, they're putting wind all over Scotland, all over the most beautiful fields in the world, Scotland. All over beautiful. Oh, we have some Scottish people here. Where the hell did you come from? We have Scottish people. But they're putting wind all over Scotland. The people are not thrilled with it. And it's costing them a fortune. They have the most expensive energy. And I said, I'm going to do you a favor. You could be there for a long time. Open up the North Sea oil. One of the greatest oil. And, they like to say, well, it's very well depleted. No. It's good for another 500 years, and they haven't even found most of it yet. And if you look at Norway, they have a section of the North Sea, which in theory isn't as vibrant, and it's a very rich country. They have a tremendous worth because of the North Sea. But UK has to, if they don't go back to oil, I think a lot of bad things are happening to Europe. That their immigration policies are so bad. Is so bad. They're destroying our beautiful Europe. I love Europe. They're destroying Europe, and they better do something. I'll give them just some free advice. I'm focused here, but I give them free advice. They better be careful because immigration and energy are going to destroy Europe. On day one, I ended the war on Pennsylvania energy. I just terminated something that was insane, and we all love Elon. Elon was up here campaigning, right? But I said, Elon, I think electric cars are great, but not everybody wants an electric car. And I ended the insane electric vehicle mandate where everybody was supposed to have an electric car by the year like 2030 or some ridiculous year like that. It's not going to be that way. I don't think it'll be some like hybrid, some going to like gasoline powered. I mean, the nice thing about gasoline is we have 2,000 years worth of we have more gasoline, we have more oil and gas than any country anywhere in the world. Is that right? And they want us to go to batteries. Let's go to batteries. We don't have battery content. So let's go to batteries, according to these morons that were in our country. Let's not use oil and gas, which we have more than any country in the world. Let's go to batteries. Well, we have to go to the Congo and get it from China. But I actually stopped the war with Congo and Rwanda, and they said to me, please, please, we would love you to come and take our minerals, which we'll do. But I stopped the Green New Scam. It's a total scam. And, we had, they used to call it global warming. Then they called it 15 other things, and none of them worked. So they came up with climate change, remember? Climate change. Because you can't go wrong with climate change if it goes up. Remember, global warming, and then the temperature started going down like a rock. Remember? We had global warming, and they sent that big, beautiful ship with all scientists on it. and it went into deepest Alaska. It went up through the ice. And the global warming, it was getting so warm, except unfortunately they had a bad few weeks. It got so cold that the ice just crushed the ship. We had to take those poor bastards out by helicopter. The scientists, they said, one guy was petrified of helicopter. He said, I have a choice, go down in the ice with the ship or go in a helicopter. He chose the helicopter, he made it. But we have a very simple policy, right, Chris? Drill, baby, drill. We have a simple policy. And natural gas production is booming. Coal mining is up by 2.4 million tons a month. And we're also reviving Pennsylvania manufacturing. And with our historic tariffs, steel production is roaring back. We're building steel mills all over the country. And U.S. Steel is coming back at a level never thought possible before. And I was up. And I was up here and with the workers and with Selena. Do you know Selena? Does everybody know? And with some other people. We were up with some great people, and we spent the whole day, and they were determining whether or not they want to make which one of the deals. I went to the workers. I said, which one do you like? We picked the right one. As I said before, billions of dollars they're spending. And the steel workers are doing phenomenally better. I think you're going to do better than you've ever done before. You were losing all of your steel. If we didn't have tariffs, you would have no steel. We wouldn't have one steel mill anywhere in the United States. And that would be really bad for, Scott, national security. We need, the one thing you need steel. You know, you can give up certain products. You can give up pencils. Because under the China policy, you know, every child can get 37 pencils. They only need one or two, you know. They don't need that many. But you always need steel. You don't need $37 for your daughter. 2 or 3 is nice, but you don't need $37. So we're doing things right. We're running this country right. We're also putting thousands of dollars in the pockets of hardworking Pennsylvanians with the largest tax cuts in American history. That's no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax on Social Security for our great seniors, no tax. And all of that kicks in on January 1st. You know, it hasn't kicked in yet. I mean, we're doing great, and it hasn't kicked in yet, and it's amazing. And it's one of the reasons they said, sir, would you mind going on the trail? And I actually like it, you know? I have fun. I haven't read practically anything off this stupid teleprompter. And then my speechwriters they're getting awards for some of the finest speeches, and I haven't even read them. And the award for the finest writer in the history of speechmaking, Ross. Where are you, Ross? Are you here, Ross? Where the hell is Ross? Ross, are you here? Look, first time I've ever introduced him. Ross, get over here. I got it. He's a young, handsome man. He's the greatest. Thank you, Ross. Very low-key guy. Thank you. Look at Ross. He's so shy. I can't believe it. We're joined today by Donna Zajac, a mom and a waitress of over 45 years who lives in Stroudsburg. Does everybody know where Strouds? I know where it is. Because of no tax on tips, Donna estimates she will keep hundreds of additional dollars every single month, and she'll put all of that money toward her daughter's dream of becoming a veterinarian. That's a good, right? A good thing. Are you here, Donna? Where's Donna? Oh, come on up, Donna. Come on. Come on. You want, say a few words. Look how beautiful she is. She stood up. She wasn't supposed to come up, but when I looked at her, I said, come on up, Donna. Look how beautiful she is. You're not allowed to say that anymore. You know, in politics, if you say somebody's beautiful, that's the end of your political career. I say, I don't care. I don't care. Come on up, Donna. always take a break.
What do you want me to say?
Yeah, just say whatever. This is always dangerous.
Thank you, Trump. Thank you to President Trump for having me. This is like my sister dream, but I love you too. My sister Ann loved you too. But yes, with that money, that would help me with my daughter's tuition. Yes.
Make it great.
Make it a lot easier.
Big difference.
For
Right?
sure. Yeah.
Thank you.
We love it.
you,
Thank you. Thank you.
A star is born. That's all I say. A star is born. Is your sister here? Is your sister here, Donna? Are you? Oh, hello. How are you? Good family. Well, thank you. Thanks, Donna. That's beautiful. Also with us is Marine Corps veteran Sean Downey, who now serves as a firefighter and a local first responder. Sean worked over 400 hours of overtime. That's a lot. And thanks to no tax on overtime, he'll take home thousands of dollars extra, which he plans to use to buy a first home. And thank you. Where's Sean? Good, Sean. Good. So you're going to use that money well, right? That was not an easy one to get approved. You know, it all went through Congress. I had to really push hard. I was not nice. I was not nice to get you that money, but you're going to use that money to get a house, right? A first house? Good. Well, you have a great future. Thank you very much. And here as well is Megan Hemhauser from Cresco, Pennsylvania. Megan's husband works 10 to 15 hours of overtime a week operating heavy equipment while she bartends and waits tables at night and homeschools her two children during the day, getting more and more prevalent. Homeschooling getting more and more, it's happening. That's okay, it's good. But thanks to no tax on tips and no tax on overtime, more than a quarter of their income will be tax-free. Megan, do you want to come up? Come on, Megan. Come on up.
Thank you so much. Oh my goodness. Thank you. Thank you so much. As President Trump said, I'm a mom, a wife. I homeschool my two brilliant children. And the no tax on tips is incredible. No tax on overtime is incredible for my husband. And it all comes back to our family. It saves us, and it's for the future of our children. And it's been such a blessing to be home with them and to have them here with me tonight. And thank you for everything, President.
Thank you. Thank you. Good to see that. I want to show this. You know what's great? So she had these notes, right? Not notes, it's a speech. She never even looked at it. She was great. It's much better when you don't have to read it. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. So I just thought, great job. That's a great job.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's great. Never looked at the notes. She never looked at those notes. That's pretty cool. I have a lot of professionals sitting right here. They'll get up and read a speech. But Megan didn't have to do that. Another key part of our tax cuts is known as Trump accounts. Under this new program, the federal government will be creating an investment savings account for every single newborn American child with $1,000 to be invested and grow over the course of their life, right at the beginning of birth. Friends, family, employers, and loved ones will be able to add thousands of dollars a year, and it's like a trust fund for every American child. It's going to be something, and it's really exciting. And I want to thank Michael Dell and his beautiful Dell computer. Go out and buy a Dell computer. He got it started. He put up $6.25 billion. And he started with nothing. Think of that. And he just put that up, $6.25 billion. Michael Dell, thank you wherever you may be. Michael is probably in Texas watching us right now. and his beautiful wife. They're a great couple. His wife is incredible. Every single Democrat in Congress voted against these unbelievable benefits for American families. Why would you vote against? Money is being put up, big money is being put up. And you know, these kids, when they get to be 18, 20, 21, 30, 35 years old, they could have $100,000, $200,000, and they're gonna be rich. I mean, they're gonna feel rich, and they're gonna be watching it grow, and they may be helping it grow, who knows, you never know. But it's gonna teach them. It's gonna be a great thing. This was Michael and some other people's ideas. They wanted to do this, and they spoke with their wallet too. They put up a tremendous amount of money. So I just want to thank Michael Dell, his wife and family, and everybody else that was with us the other day. It was a big day, and it's a big event. But we're joined today by some of your representatives who voted to put more money in your pockets. And these are great people. And I introduced David. I'm going to ask him to stand up again, because David McCormick is a really great man in the truest sense. He won a race, you know. He really did well the first time too, but some bad things happened, right? And very few people are willing to do that again. And to be honest, if he would have lost, I know his wife, she's a beautiful woman, extremely into the social scene, but respected by everybody. She would have left him if he lost. And I told him that. Dina would have left him. She's that way. Hey, we can't help it. That's the way she is. So I said, David, you're taking a big risk if you run again, because if you lose twice, your wife is leaving you. And he wasn't worried. Stand up. David McCormick. Yeah. He was so great. He followed me every single time I spoke. He was there, and he got up and he'd speak. And I'll tell you, we had big crowds, David, and the audience listened to you. In fact, they liked him more than they liked me in some cases. I was thinking about, let's keep him off the stage. But they really loved you. And you've been a great senator. And you have a great wife. Thank you very much. Thank you. And a congressman who's been a warrior, and a couple of guys that have just been unbelievable. But Rob Bresnahan, would you stand up, Rob? What a job you're doing, huh? Young, handsome, central casting. Great job. Thank you very much, Rob. Great job. And another one. These are warriors, these two guys. But the three of them. And then you have the senator, but the three of them. Ryan McKenzie. Ryan, thank you. And it's hard for me to explain how hard they work, but they were working so hard, getting that big, beautiful bill. I call it the great, big, beautiful bill passed. You know, that was supposed to be in 17 bills. And I actually said it because I'm not that experienced. I haven't been doing it that long, believe it or not. I haven't been doing this. I had one man, he was a congressman, and we had a big meeting, and he was telling us all how to do something. And I said, I disagree with that. He said, sir, I've had 22 races, and I've won 20 of them. I know what I'm doing. And I said, sir, I've had 3 races, and I've won all 3 of them. And mine was for president. And he said, all right, you got me on that. He's actually a good man. He got a little carried away one day. But that's because these guys wanted to do it my way, too. So we had 17 bills prepared. Dan Muser, right? Stand up, Dan. What a great guy. Stand up, Mrs. Muser. Dan is a he's a very powerful congressman, but he's a great person, great man. All 3 of these guys, they're warriors, and your senators, like, I mean, very few people that I've ever met that would take that risk. It was a risk. You know, it takes guts to run for public office, right? It takes guts. A lot of guys talk, including me. I talked about this for a long time before I did it. It takes courage to run for any public office because, you know, you can be very embarrassed. You can ruin your life. Look at me. I got impeached. I got indicted. I was never going to be impeached, indicted. I get indicted like 87 times with these stupid... See, they should have indicted me once. They would have had a better chance. With all of the I used to get up. It was very important. I'd get up and say, here we go again. Ladies and gentlemen, I got indicted again. And nobody believed the whole thing. And then I'd explain it, and it turned out to be a hoax. I mean, just it was a total hoax. They're very, very bad, very, very bad people. But Dan Muser has been a great congressman. He was thinking about running for governor. I think you would have won if you ran, but you know, in a selfish way, I like you in Washington even better. So I want to thank you very much. Great. Great job. Thank you. That's even more important. Thank you. Thank you very much. And thanks as well to Secretary of the Treasury, Scott Bessent, and Secretary of Energy, Chris Wright. You guys have been great. Thank you. I introduced them, but I want to introduce, because they have been so good. A major factor that fueled inflation under Biden was the invasion of 25 million people. Think of this, 25 million people came into our country totally unchecked and unvetted, mostly across our southern border. 10 months ago, we inherited the worst border in the history of the world, and now we have the strongest border in the history of our country. We've never had a border that strong. And people don't talk about it. You notice they don't talk about it. When I was running, it was the biggest thing. And before I was running, that's all they talked about, the border, the border, the border. And now I fixed it. Nobody wants to talk about it. Even my people, they say, sir, don't put it in your speech. Why? Because nobody cares about the border. You fixed it. No, but you know how bad that is? Because they forget what you did. We had a border that was so bad. Everybody, criminals, everybody pouring into our country. Anybody. You know, the Congo, I just settled that war. The Congo, their entire prison population was set into our country. Venezuela, their entire prison population was dumped into our country. And now we have the tightest border we've ever had. We have one of the strongest borders anywhere in the world. I would say there's one country that has probably a stronger border. You know what that is? You know what that is? North Korea. North Korea, I think, has a stronger border. But other than North Korea has 7 walls of wire, and each of them has 1 million volts of electricity going through it. So if you get over one, you're dead for the next one. If you get over one, you're in very bad shape. If you get over 2, you've set a record. So I don't know, Scott, I think we give North Korea the safest border, don't you agree? You know, but ours is pretty safe. And I want to thank Pete Hegseth and the military for helping us. And again, for 7 months in a row, we've had 0 illegal aliens that have been admitted to the United States, and nobody. Do you remember when Biden said, I need legislation to do that? And I said, no, all you need is a new president. I didn't get legislation. Scott, did I get legislation? I said, close the freaking border right now. And they did it. Because our Border Patrol is incredible. ICE is incredible. That ICE, poor ICE, they take a lot of abuse, but they're the toughest people. And again, Washington, D.C. now is, we had the tragedy, which was a terrorism tragedy, but we have Washington, D.C., the safest it's been in 52 years. Think of that. And a year ago, you couldn't walk down a street in Washington, our nation's capital, and now restaurants are booming, restaurants are opening. The restaurants were all closing, now the restaurants are opening. You can't get into a restaurant in Washington, D.C. Biden and the radical left Democrats turned Pennsylvania into a dumping ground for hundreds of thousands of migrants from the most dysfunctional places on earth, like Somalia, and gave them billions and billions of your taxpayer dollar. But we didn't really give it. It was stolen. And those people should go to jail. Jail. And if they don't go to jail, Scott Bessent is toast. He's toast. I'll tell you, that could be the easiest case. I think it's too easy for you. Just give it to your assistants. They can do that case. These people are crooks. They don't work. 91% unemployment, okay? It's a scam, and it's headed up by the crooked Congresswoman. Whatever happened to her brother, by the way? Is he still around? Where is he? Yeah, he went low. He went low. He's not happy. Would you look into him too, Scott? Would you find out the brother, please? She said, how dare you say that about me? It's discrimination. Let me tell you, black people love Trump. I got the biggest vote. I got the biggest vote with black people. They know a scam better than anybody. They know what it is to be scammed. Thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate it. We did great. Thank you. I like this guy. Thank you. We got a tremendous black vote. We got a tremendous Hispanic vote. We got a tremendous, because we speak the truth. They get it. Everybody gets it. Everybody, pretty much everybody gets it. And they know we're the real deal. Our country's become so strong in such a 10 months. Think of it. It's not even a year. It's like, if we keep going like this, I don't know if we can do that. But if we keep going like this, there'll be nothing ever in history like it. Already, they are saying better than Lincoln, better than Washington, better than anybody. The best 10 months ever in the history of the presidency. And for the first time in 50 years, we now have reverse migration, which means more jobs, better wages, and higher income for American citizens, not for illegal aliens. And you know what? We all have a heart. We want to take care of people. But these people are getting killed on the walk up. They're dying. They're dying. They have to go through jungles. We don't realize this. They are going through areas that are it's not possible to get through some of the areas. They're going through jungles down in the Central America, South America, some of these areas with snakes, with crocodiles and alligators. They're getting just eaten alive, and they're getting beat up by some of the bad people. Women are being raped. Remember when I started, I said, we're going to stop the raping. Women in those caravans, a name conceived of by me, because it's a caravan, thousands of people, 10, 15, 20,000 people coming up. The women in those caravans are being raped in unprecedented numbers by other people in the caravans. By them not coming, they're not even trying to come now because they know they can't get through. We're doing a tremendous service because they're not being killed and they're not being raped and they're staying back in their country where they've been. And they've been taken care of. I've also announced a permanent pause on third world migration, including from hellholes like Afghanistan, Haiti, Somalia, and many other countries. I didn't say shithole, you did. Remember I said that to the senators, they came in, the Democrats. They wanted to be bipartisan. So they came in and they said, this is totally off the record. Nothing mentioned here. We want to be honest because our country was going to hell. And we had a meeting. And I say, why is it we only take people from shithole countries, right? Why can't we have some people from Norway, Sweden, just a few? Let us have a few. From Denmark, do you mind sending us a few people? Send us some nice people, do you mind? But we always take people from Somalia, places that are a disaster, right? Filthy, dirty, disgusting, ridden with crime. The only thing they're good at is going after ships. But they don't go after our ships. You know why? Because that same missile that knocks the crap out of them, that with the drug dealers from Venezuela and others. That same missile, think of it, from hundreds of miles away, we have the greatest military, we have the greatest equipment, we make the greatest equipment in the world. I bought more equipment. We rebuilt the military in the first term. Then Stupid Joe gave a lot of it to Afghanistan, but it was a lot, but relatively little. But we're still adding to it a lot. But I'll tell you what, I'm looking at this big tough guy with the red hat on. I like that guy. But stand up, let me just see what you look like. Nobody's gonna mess with him. Okay, he's central casting. Thank you very much, very good. I see he's enjoying it. I like people that enjoy things because you gotta smile about this whole thing. But that same missile system that hits the center of everyone. Remember, every boat that gets hit, we don't want to do that, but every boat that gets hit, we save 25,000 American lives, every boat. And when you view it that way, you don't mind. But we have that same system aimed at Somalia, and if they go and want to raid our ships, and not our ships, worldwide shipping, you know, they used to go and take the ships. When one or two of them get hit, they say, we'll pass. So we've cut down drugs, 94% coming in from sea. 94, right? 94%, Muser. 94%, Muser. That's pretty good. We're trying to figure out who the hell are the other 6%. They're finding it very hard to get people to navigate those waters. The problem is nobody wants to go fishing anymore either. They don't want to get in boats. They don't want anything to do with boats. I think we've destroyed the boat market. Other than that, it's been very effective. We've cut it down 96%. Think of that. And now we're going to do land, because the land is much easier, and it's even more prevalent. If you don't share our values, contribute to our economy, and assimilate into our society, then we don't want you in our country. We don't want you. I mean, Ilhan Omar and the people from Somalia, they hate our country. And they think we're stupid people, which actually, when they allow that to happen, they are. That's headed by Governor Walz, one of the dumber people around. No, but but think of it. He's given not like peanuts, billions. These are people that don't work in their own country. Their own country's a failure. They have no money there. And yet they come into our country and steal tens of billions of dollars. How stupid are we to allow that to happen? They can't earn 10 cents in their country. They come over here and rob. Are we that easy? Are we that easy to allow a thing like that to happen? That's up to you. And look at what's going on in North Carolina. We have a big Senate race. We have a fantastic man, Michael Whatley, running as a Republican, head of the Republican Party, won elections, won the presidential election for us. He's running against a governor who's a radical left lunatic. And Michael should win. I don't know. It's hard. You beat a two-term governor, but the governor didn't do a good job. But what's happening in North Carolina? Two of the most vicious murders that anyone's ever seen in Charlotte. And it's all run by the Democrats. What's going on there? The young lady from Ukraine, you saw that one where a guy from behind just cut her throat on tape. Can't even watch it. What's going on in North Carolina? You need a Republican running that, and you've got to have a Republican senator elected. If you don't, and Michael Whatley's running, he's going to be great. So we have people from North Carolina here. Otherwise, I wouldn't be wasting so many words, you know. It's a Senate race, but you agree with me, I think, Mr. Senator, right? Together, we've achieved more in less than 1 year than most other administrations have achieved in 8 years. And we're restoring law and order to our cities, backing the men and women of law enforcement. I love law enforcement. And standing with the heroes of ICE and Border Patrol. We've ended political correctness in our military. We've renamed the Department of Defense into the Department of War. I said to Pete, you know, Pete's a tough cookie, and I said to Pete, I used to do interviews with him, and all he wanted to talk about was the military. I said, this guy's great, smart guy, great education, great everything. The press gave him a hard time, real hard time, but he's really proven to be very, very good, very, very strong. Young, strong, smart. We have Raisin Cain, the great general who knocked out ISIS for us in 4 weeks. Raisin Cain, they said it was going to take, right? They said it was going to take 5 years, sir. Or, sir, it'll take 5 years. He said, sir, I can do it in 4 weeks. Did it in 3 weeks. Knocked out ISIS. He did a hell of a job in knocking out the Iran nuclear capability. We knocked out the Iran nuclear capability. Now compare that to Jimmy Carter, the Democrats. Well, he was a nice man, but he was. But we don't really want a nice man. You want to have somebody that's capable. You know, they were talking about Greg Gutfeld. He's a very good guy. Greg Gutfeld. Very good. But Greg Gutfeld he didn't like me very early in his, he didn't like me. I don't know, he just didn't like me. And it was all right, but, you know, figured it's okay, I'll live with it. Then all of a sudden he started saying, you know, I don't like this guy, but everything he says, he gets it done. And you know, then he went on a couple of months later, and he started going like, I'm starting to like that guy better. Every damn thing he says, he gets it done, and it's all really good, common sense, tough stuff. I've never seen anything like it. Everything he says, he gets done. And then he started to really like me, and then we did an interview. It was supposed to be a 10-minute interview. It lasted for 2 hours. There was a good chemistry. And he did 5 shows, all 5 shows that week, and he got the highest ratings that anyone's ever gotten in that time slot. And he became legendary. I'm happy for him. But there was something. But he said, during the process, he said, so would I rather have a guy as president who was really a nice guy who I liked, or a guy who I can't stand that gets everything done and turns our country into a great country again? And he was smart. It was a very interesting process, but he's a great guy. He's doing really well. Totally dominates the late night. Totally dominates against those morons that they have at the other. Kimmel, what bad people. In 10 months, I ended 8 wars, including Kosovo, Serbia, Pakistan and India. They were going at it. Israel and Iran, Egypt and Ethiopia. You didn't know about that. Armenia and Azerbaijan. And I hate to say this, one named Cambodia, Thailand, and it started up today. Tomorrow I'll have to make a phone call, and I think they'll get it. Who else could say, I'm going to make a phone call and stop a war of 2 very powerful countries, Thailand and Cambodia? They're going at it again. But I'll do it. So we're making peace through strength. That's what we're doing. We've cut federal funding for any school that pushes critical race theory or transgender insanity. No more money. We banned the chemical, surgical mutilation of children. Think of this. Can you imagine if you were up here 15 years ago? We have banned the chemical mutilation of children. They'd say, this guy's crazy. We actually had to ban it. But think, can you imagine that? Or I have stopped men from playing in women's sports. They'd say, this guy's crazy. Men don't play in women's sports. Stop men. Well, that's another thing. We stopped men from playing in women's sports, and we're restoring the name of a great president, William McKinley, to Mount McKinley in beautiful Alaska. And I renamed the Gulf of Mexico into the Gulf of America. So in conclusion, from the shipyards of Philadelphia to the steel mills of Pittsburgh, these are great places. Maybe some of you don't even realize it, you know. You get used to it a little bit too much sometimes, but these are great places. From the union halls of Scranton to the kitchen tables of millions of Pennsylvania families, we're bringing prosperity and pride surging back to this magnificent Commonwealth. We're bringing it surging back. You're hot. Our country's hot, and you're hot. Together, we're repairing 4 years of disaster by the radical left Democrats in Congress and by the worst president in the history of our country. He is. I mean, it's not a question about that. He's just the worst president in the history of our country. The damage thank you very much. The damage he's done to our country is something we can never forget. After just 10 months, our border is secure, our spirit is restored, inflation is stopped, wages are up, prices are down, our nation is strong, America is respected again, and the United States is back. People, right? All these all of my friends right up here. Every single, thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. He looks like The Rock. You look like The Rock. Stand up. Let me see what you look like. Yeah, look at that. The Rock would be very happy with that look. Every single day of this administration, we will keep on working for the hard-working American citizens, people that love our country. We will fight, 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 and we will win, win, win. And with your help, we will make America powerful again. We will make America wealthy again. We will make America healthy again. We will make America strong again. We will make America proud again. We will make America safe again. And we will make America great again. Thank you, Pennsylvania. Thank you. We love you, Pennsylvania.